We move next to Nagla El Abadi, who will be talking to us about Dietary Environmental Index, using it to assess nutritional quality.
Hello, thank you. I'm delighted to be here. My name is Nagla El Abadi. I'm a doctoral candidate in nutrition epidemiology at Tufts University here in Boston, where I study the fascinating but complex relationship between dietary intake and health in the context of environmental effects. In 2016, the United Nations launched its sustainability goals, noting that one of the main challenges of this era will be to not only meet the nutritional needs of a growing global population, but to do so while reducing environmental harms. Just in case you weren't aware before today, you must now be familiar with the unbalanced burden modern food production places on our planetary resources. Specifically in the U.S., 50% of available land goes to crop or pasture, and agriculture accounts for 70 to 80% of freshwater withdrawals and 17% of fossil fuel use. This is contributing to climate change, ecosystem degradation, and loss of biodiversity. And yet we aren't even healthy. Western dietary patterns fall short of nutritional recommendations and exceed limitations for unhealthy foods. In the U.S., 7 out of 10 men and 6 out of 10 women are considered overweight or obese, leading to high rates of metabolic and chronic diseases such as hypertension, diabetes, and heart disease. So the challenge we face is how to balance optimal nutrition within ecological sustainability, because a nutritionally replete diet does not guarantee low environmental impact, and a sustainable diet is not necessarily healthy. In reality, foods may have a low environmental impact but be nutrient poor, such as sugar. Or they may be resource intensive to produce but be nutritious, like dairy. To address this challenge, we developed a dietary environmental index as a tool to gauge environmental costs against nutritional quality for a wide range of foods consumed in the U.S. For environmental impact, we use data from LCAs, or life cycle assessments, which measure the environmental inputs and outputs of a product or system over its life cycle. We assessed 4 environmental indicators: land use, water depletion, marine eutrophication, and greenhouse gas emissions. And these we standardized and combined into an aggregate environmental impact score, the EIS, and mapped them to foods reported in NHANES, a nationally representative survey. We then evaluated the EIS against each food's nutrient density using the formula of the Nutrient-Rich Food Index 9.3, which scores 9 nutrients to promote and 3 nutrients to reduce. DEX is the ratio of nutrient density to environmental impact and was calculated for about 1,200 of the most commonly consumed foods reported in NHANES. A greater nutrient density or a lower environmental impact score leads to a higher, more favorable DEX score. We found that the DEX scores for most fruit, vegetable, legume, and nut and seed food categories, over here, generally performed above the median and frequently above the 75th percentile for overall foods due to a simultaneously high NRF 9.3 and low EIS. Cereals, pasta, and other grain products range from a near 25th percentile up to around 75th percentile or above for fortified food products. And I separated out the sweet pastry categories, which also perform between 25th to 75th percentile, largely due to a low EIS from sugar and refined grain ingredients. Dairy products ranged all over, from butter at the lowest DEX score to above 75th percentile for skim milk. And meat-based dishes were generally below 25th percentile, and though they were higher slightly for poultry and egg products, and lower scores for beef and poultry. So these findings demonstrate the ability of DEX to characterize foods with respect to diet quality and harm to the environment. The goal is to next apply DEX to assess whole diets and dietary patterns. The work is still in early stages and has its limitations, especially the need for more LCA data, but I hope to better represent food variety, but I hope this will help further initiatives towards improved diet sustainability. With acknowledgments to my thesis committee for their guidance and support, and my colleagues at the Nutrition Epidemiology Department, I would also like to thank Qantas International for the LCA data that was provided, and this work is supported through a doctoral fellowship from NIFA. Thank you.
Thank you, Nagla.